So thank you for staying with us. This is Today with John and Helen, and on the show today we're discussing human capital flight, otherwise known as brain drain. And of course we have joining us from Benin in Edo State, our good friend Aruosa Osemwegie. Aruosa, thanks so much for staying with us. Now I would want us to look, you made a brief mention about the COVID-19, post-COVID-19, before we went on a break. Now, since the COVID-19 pandemic broke, remote jobs have been on the upsurge. Has this come to stay? What are your thoughts?
Okay, thanks. Straight answer, remote jobs have come to stay. And interestingly, the truth is this trend had picked up way before COVID. For those who who might not know that subconsciously, because we even have organizations like Andela that have been at the forefront of mining talent, technology talent, remote talent for some years. So remote working started, and this is because with advances in technology, we have always touted that the world is a village. I think the world is actually a hamlet. It's much more smaller than a village. And with advances in technology, with advances in digital capabilities, it becomes obvious that we can do more. Then COVID, accentuated it for us quickly, rushed us into it in ways. Because if you ask me, some of the technology existed, but probably the prevailing mindset that existed was not in support. But suddenly we didn't have a choice. Suddenly we are home, and then we realized that, we can do many things on our phone that already existed. We can do many things on our computers that already existed. We can communicate with the world. We can all sit in one place. Suddenly everything that we thought was compulsory and was, that we couldn't do without, we could do it. So it has come to stay because we are, like many of us have realized, you can access the talent you need from anywhere. Technology makes that happen, number one. Number two, we realize some more that productivity is no longer defined by face-to-face communication. We've known this before, but we just did not, use it as a competitive weapon. So now, with all this obvious, and with the advent of social media, we're trading with ourselves, we're communicating with ourselves, whether it's IG, we're communicating with ourselves, messages are going. So the distance between nations that were reduced have probably disappeared.
Yeah.
Okay, well, despite that, a lot of people, especially first-timers, who are so attracted with the fact that they have to leave, their immediate environment to go to a more developed society, they are still itching to go despite the advantage of the social media. So what would you advise nations like our own? Let's get selfish here. What would you advise that a nation such as ours should do urgently to plug high, on the level of human capital flight?
Okay. So what can our country, Nigeria, for example, specifically do to curb brain drain?
Yeah.
I think the first thing is that they need to accept that brain drain should not be curbed in that sense. Okay. It shouldn't be resisted. What you should do is what the surfers do. They find a wave and you ride the wave to where you need to go. All right. So if immediately we know that, then we are set to, whether we now call it curb or what I would prefer, to really, really understand. And there are several things to do. Of course, when we are talking about solutions and what government to do, the first set of thoughts that come to people's minds are what I would like to call maybe the big ticket things that seem to have defied solution. Security. Security. Solve security, it reduces brain drain. Reduce unemployment, it reduces brain drain. All right. strengthen public amenities, infrastructure, it reduces brain drain, and so on and so forth. So yes, those are there, but there are a number of other things. So I'll share a few quickly. Government needs to strengthen the intellectual property ecosystem because that will extend our economic capabilities, whether locally and even internationally. So we need to strengthen intellectual property ecosystem. And I call it ecosystem because there are several things to do. There are laws, there are institutions. It cannot again be done with, well, we roll out one policy and we feel that we are fine. No. Number two, government needs to strengthen labor law of institutions so that we reduce what I like call egregious capitalist tendencies of employers. Because as we reduce that, people have, they fear less for their jobs and they can actually sit down on a long-term basis. So if government strengthens labor law institutions, and so I will confess that we've seen some movement in that space. That will help us to have employment and people have less fears and concerns. Okay. Another one is to strengthen diaspora linkages. Very, very big deal. There's quite a lot of room there. Strengthening diaspora linkages at the federal and the state levels. There are many states that have their brothers and sisters are in different parts of the world, that because there is an emotional bond, there is room to harness that for the benefit of the state. Right. Another idea that came to me is we need to partner a lot more with countries than companies. Well, what I mean is look at, particularly in critical sectors, look at what the government did with Siemens. It was actually first a partnership with, I think, Germany that dragged Siemens in. So imagine that the country can partner with other countries or critical sectors. Say, for example, work is going on with power, but I'm looking at agriculture. I'm looking at health. All right. If we can, imagine that we can partner with Israel as on a country-to-country level for agriculture, so that we can actually improve that space. Another thing we can do drastically, improve ease of port operations. So that import and export, because you see, one of the benefits of brain drain is that there is a lot more export of our things here. People want their food, people want their spices, people want clothing, things that they have emotional attachment to. So if we make it easier, of course, obviously, another thing we should make easier is remittances. We should work with countries to improve remittances so that it should be as seamless as this. Immediately you are thinking you want to send money home, we should make it possible that the money just goes home and reduce that friction. I would admit, you will notice CBN has done some change of policies around that, making it possible for you to receive your dollar in dollar terms. So those are specific things that government needs to do. So because if they do that, another thing, of course, is repatriation of stolen money. Because these are all the things that we can use to help the economy. Yes, if we use repatriation of stolen money, then we can also gain opportunity to increase the economic power of the country. And while we are doing that as well, reduce the overseas countries being used as haven for stolen funds.
Yeah.
Wow. So that money can stay here.
Yeah, Aruosa, I must say that...
A lot of international relations.
Yes,
here.
You've packed a lot into...
and diplomacy.
Yes, into that answer. But let's do a little bit of history now.
Okay.
Pre-independence, I know that a lot of our parents, went abroad. We have so many of them, especially to read law, medicine, engineering, and the conventional courses at that time were not so conventional, and we gained from it. What this says is that brain drain has always been with us. Yes. Now, you have proffered a lot of solutions. Government should do this, government must do that, government has to do this. Are you presupposing that we don't have any structures on ground now to effect controlled emigration?
If you are asking if we have effective structure,
Yes.
I think that is easier to answer. That we do not have effective structure. We do not have programs. However, there have been shades, and I mentioned that earlier.
Yes.
There are several diaspora type programs for one, all right? But the question to ask is, how do you effect control when there are actually a lot of things that are pushing people out? Unfortunately, insecurity, we seem not to have found the secret sauce to that. And some people just want to be, they want to be able to, I mean, not, even if they are not earning a lot of money, they want to be at peace. There are a lot of commentators who agree, who would say the educational system has declined. That, even if it was stagnant, that is a huge push as well. So the conversation about control, where do they want to start the control? There are people who have really loved this country. They want to be part of taking the country to the next level. But hey, how do they stay when these things exist? So those are the ways to look at it. There are no, so any one policy will not have the impact, or one agency will not have the impact it's supposed to have. I would say that some states, even Edo State, have had programs for, well, at that point, we can call it return immigration for certain categories of people. But even for those, it's for those that are doing that, it's not for the skilled, specialized labor, like health. By the way, health is one of the worst hit sectors. Health, academia.
Yes.
Two of the worst hit, health and academia, and then you can go to banking, consulting, and professional services. All right. So we are not there yet. There is a lot of room, whether it's the federal or the state. I keep insisting on federal and state because there are many things state governments can do to do, whether it's to reduce it, and more importantly, to harness the benefits that accrue to when there's a drain.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, because this is a family program, we're interested in the
Yes,
well-being of the family members. And with the influx of immigrants as seen in reverse brain drain, we may begin to, or we are already experiencing some cultural disconnect, if you agree with me. And I'm also concerned about sufficient information. Every day you have lots of advertisements, opportunities, so to speak, asking Nigerians to come for abroad for greener pastures. Now, how do we determine which is for real, which is not a flux, which is not a platform where somebody will connect with and probably get into trouble there? And then just link that with the cultural disconnect, because we would eventually like these people to come back home and still feel like Nigerians and know who they are,
and fit in.
and fit in.
Yes, very true, very true. I like those questions. The first thing is in terms of even emigrating properly, or emigrating so that you don't get lost, get arrested, or the dreams that you have, the hopes that or aspirations that you had are not met. The first thing is that there is no, let's forget about get rich quick. There's no get rich quick legitimately anywhere. Yes, there are opportunities for people, hardworking people, to learn, to work, and to earn. To learn, to work, and to earn. So immediately we have settled that. And we need to settle this both in the people going and the people that are supporting them to go, because unreasonable expectations from people here can force or compel people over there to do untoward things. So that's the first step. When you have sorted out, the next thing is information. And I like the point you made about information. You need to plan and position for it. There is no, oh, I'm leaving next month. No, 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 it's not going to happen. But there could be a year or two or even three. So something that is planned that gives you time to gather information. All right. There's a lot of information on the internet, but there are also people that I won't even focus on the scammers yet. There are also people that offer services that are not cheap, and if you spend some time, you can get them for free or for cheap. So if you use that time to gather information, you can also use that time to find people in your network, someone who knows someone who knows someone who knows someone. There will likely be someone who knows someone who knows someone. So you can begin to interact with people out there so that you move from information to engagement.
Sure.
Engage with people there, those who have done it, so you can begin to choose the option that works better. Now, on the question about cultural disconnect, I think it's the same thing. That even before coming, people should not rush. They should also have plans, and position and take their time. They should have an idea what are the options of what I want to do. There is also no get rich quick here when you are returning. Yes, you may find that, because one other thing that probably happens to some people is that because the environment there in overseas is rather controlled. So people don't, how do I put it? They don't flaunt affluence. But here, some people, well, maybe because of how they see life, could seemingly flaunt affluence. So you begin to think that, well, maybe I should return and join maybe politics, which, by the way, is one category of people that are not emigrating. So return. So you think that when you get back, you're also going to get rich quick. So come back, there's no get rich quick. Realize that you would need to spend some time knowing some more about the country and the people you left.
Okay.
Yeah.
Invest in diverse sources of information. No one source. Listen to NTA, listen to check social media, varied sources.
And PlusTvAfrica.
And PlusTvAfrica for certain.
Which is where we're going to have to stop you today,
Okay.
Aruosa.
No, but I just need the final word from you. So, is the grass greener at the other side? As quickly as it is.
5 seconds.
Summing this all up.
The grass on the other side has a lot of shades of green that can be harnessed when done deliberately.
Thank you.
So that's the way to put it. Yes,
So,
it can be not for get rich, but for schooling, for learning, for working, and just to see other cultures. That opportunity exists.
Great, fantastic.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Aruosa.
All right.
And of course, brain drain certainly is a problem for developing countries, irrespective of the few benefits or advantages.
Yes.
And of course, we agree that the drawbacks outweigh the benefits any day. Therefore, our government should find a way or ways to reducing the number of highly educated and skilled workers relocating to other countries. And with that, we want to thank you so much, Aruosa Osemwegie, for joining us on this program. We hope that next time when we call you, you will be there for us.
Definitely.
Thank you
so much. Thank you so much. And have a beautiful day in Benin, and our regards to everyone there. Yeah, because if human capital flight somehow is a lot from Benin, we are not going into that today, from the Delta axis. Abby? No? Yes?
Not today.
Okay, not today. I like that. All right. So, the grass is not always greener at the other end, really. So, many sides to this matter of capital human flight. We shall leave it here for now. As Pharaoh, we'll pick up with our guests, bringing on new perspectives to the topic after the Keep Fit segment. And I think we have Dolly, the lovely lady, power-packed Dolly, will take us through the Keep Fit segment. John?
Yeah.
All right, so let's go.